like I wanted to share what's going on in my heart right now. There's times where I feel like we've been neglected or abandoned, or there's just been no direction or purpose. I feel like my husband and I, two willing vessels to serve. We've done some training, we've given to our churches, we've served, we've led, and it feels like it's kind of come up void. Not that it hasn't made an impact. I think God has used it for good. But we're struggling with our belonging and where God wants to use us. We've gone sort of from church to church for various reasons, not just hopping and shopping and, my needs not being met, but more, my husband doing placements and COVID and timing, and right now we're at a place where I feel a little betrayed by not so much the church body, but an individual who I thought would have my back. And it hurts. It hurts deeply, and I've been grieving, and people have been so wonderful telling me to embrace my emotions and my feelings, and I'm doing that, and you kind of go, how long, oh Lord, how long is my heart going to hurt? And I can only imagine people who've lost loved ones, and I feel like my grief is so petty compared to the large hurts of the world of losing children or parents or spouses or the list goes on and on of things to mourn and to grieve, but to not deny my own feelings either. But it was interesting to hear from someone today who just reminded me to continue to give thanks, that God hasn't left me or abandoned me, even though I may feel that way. But there is still good to come of this sorrow. The sorrow itself may not be good, the pain may not be good, but what can come of it can be good. There can be good made out of it. Doesn't mean the pain isn't still real and fresh, but that I can be a model to my family of trusting God, that there's more. I think I was in a place where I was feeling like I don't know how to have hope anymore. I don't know how many times to live in this disappointment of hoping and wishing, and then it's still not coming, and hoping and wishing, and then being, I don't know, burned or let down yet again. Like, how many times? But then why am I counting? Like, just live each day. In some ways, I can't believe how much time goes by, how quickly. So what if I just woke up every day thankful to be alive, thankful to have a house and a home, a roof over my head, and food in the fridge, and children that are healthy and well. How dare I complain? But it is frustrating, because it's frustrating to look forward. And I know those who are lived in this pits of suffering. How do you plan for the summer? How do you plan for the next holiday? How do you plan? Do you spend money or do you not spend money if finances are tight? How long do you live in the unknown? And again, why do I count? But it's so countercultural to not plan. It's so countercultural to not know what's next. To not know, well, are we going away on a camping trip this summer, or should Mom be working at Tim Hortons to try to make the bills, to pay the bills? So it is a hard place to live, but I do have a choice of how I react each day. And I fail more times than I succeed. I fail in my whining, or I succeed in whining more than I succeed in thanking. But I do have lots to be thankful for. And I know from previous experience that betrayal will heal. Pain does heal. Time does heal. There's still scars that share, but I'm now at the place where a pain that happened so many years ago, not even so many, but 5 years ago, I can now go back and see the people, and I don't necessarily 100% see the good in the outcome, because I thought I did, but that ended too. So I'm still yet again in a new place. But as the person said, you're right kind of where God wants you to be, which is a little bit bizarre to say that because I don't feel like I'm where anybody wants me to be. But why can't I just be here going about my day? It's just the part of being countercultural that's hard. The part where I can't plan and I'm not normal. I don't have a job. It's hard for my kids when people say like, oh, what does your mommy do? Well, nothing. Oh, she's working the polls. Or why does it matter? Why does it matter? Why am I measuring my worth or my value there? And yet, I've done that before. I'd like to think I'm not just measuring my worth and value there again. But it's hard not to. And it's especially hard when you feel like you gave and you've, my husband, 8 years of school, we thought for something, and then it's like, well, for what? But yet I can dream big dreams. I can have big hopes. But what if they don't get met again? And what if I'm disappointed again? And I just don't know if I can live in too many agains. But I will do my best to try to hope again and to dream dreams, because I do think God is making things new. 1 second. I do want to hope for the more. And I'm not as scared as I once was of what the next thing might be. There are places in the world I don't want to go. There are probably jobs I don't want to do. But I know that God knows me, and He knows Phil, and He knows my kids. This next decision we have to make is not going to be easy. It's a decision to whether we walk away from our community that we've built for the last number of years. But that isn't very solid. It's just been the time where we've been for the last 4 years. I'm fairly connected there, but yet not in a weekly, daily thing. We're not in a small group. And we feel like we've been released. But now it's a matter of, well, where should we go next? I'm tired of looking. I don't want to church shop. I don't want to look. But where do we find community with folks who are living counterculturally? Folks that meet and pray together regularly. People who go deeper. How do I help Phil find friends of meaning and purpose? God be with us in this. If you made it to the end of the video, kudos to you. This was my rambling from a drive. I just feel like I might as well share this journey. Thanks, friend.